pinup pageant is happening this weekend. Joining me in studio, I have three beautiful bombshells. I have the blue-haired Betty. Hello.
Hello. Thanks for having us.
Jenny Genocide. Hello. And Honey Bun Shortcake. Hello.
Hello.
Now you all look very lovely.
Thank you very much. It does take a little bit of effort to get done in the mornings.
Yes, thank you for getting all done up for us. Now, we're talking about a pinup pageant here.
That is
What
correct.
exactly is a pinup pageant?
Well, a pinup pageant is based on the beauty pageants from the first half of the 20th century. So if you go back to the 1920s, 30s, 40s, there was a beauty pageant for everything. Every company hosted their own beauty pageant. You got a Miss Perfect Posture, Miss National Laugh. There was a contest for everything. So today, in the 21st century, we base the pinup pageant on that. And it's really going back to that idea that a pageant doesn't just have to be about having the perfect features and, you know, looking the best in a bikini. So we really take the personality of the girls into account as well. So they have to be styled in the retro fashion of the 40s and 50s, but we like them to have the strong mind and will of a modern day woman.
Now, is there a big 40s and 50s culture in South Africa?
It's definitely starting to flourish. I definitely say over the last 3 or 4 years or so, the Dusty Rebels and the Bombshells Rockabilly Festival, I think, has played a big part in that. It's now in its 3rd year. And it's really a day-long festival that includes all the elements of the rockabilly culture, which is what we call the lifestyle today that is influenced and inspired by the 1940s and 50s. So it's got to do with the rock and roll music. If you go back to Elvis, Buddy Holly, etc., the classic cars and hot rods, the swing dancing, the burlesque, it really encompasses that whole vibe. And it's just such a fun-loving and carefree lifestyle, so it's really enjoyable for everyone.
Now, Jenny Genocide, you were one of the finalists in the competition. Why did you enter?
Well, I've always loved pinup, and I was actually shocked to see that there was a pageant. I was very excited. I literally found out about it the day before submissions closed, and it's like a dream come true almost, you know, because you don't get really things geared towards this sort of market in South Africa, and it's really nice to see that it's flourishing and growing now.
When you said you always loved pinup, when did you first become fascinated with it?
Marilyn Monroe, I think that's where everyone found out about pinup from. But I mean, going back, I got into burlesque dancing, and then I became inspired by the likes of Josephine Baker. You know, I've always found that, to me, pinups were sort of the first feminists. You know, they were always female empowerment, and all women are beautiful, like no matter what you look like, you know, it's about who you are as a person. And to me, I find that very inspirational.
Well said. Now, Honey Bun Shortcake, why did you enter?
Well, I've been looking for an arena in which to put myself and my persona forward, and also just an area in which I could be a role model. I find today so many young girls they're looking towards modern media for role models, and I thought it would be nice to bring forward a classy, elegant role model that young girls could follow today. So I work with a lot of children, and it brings me great pleasure to see them oohing and eyeing over the pretty dresses, and to see young girls wanting to actually put on more rather than less, as is the fashion today.
Now, when we look at 40s and 50s fashion, would you say the pageant fashion is a little bit more over the top?
Definitely. Look, it all comes back to the modern day rockabilly culture, as we now call it. And again, being modern day women, we now have the opportunity to take the influences and references that we love from that era, but apply the modern touches and elements that we now are aware of to that. So you'll still reference the silhouettes of the era, say the fit and flare style of the 50s, or the tight wiggle dress silhouette of the 40s, but you can add bolder prints and colors to it. So there's definitely an element of old and modern in the style.
And you competed in Las Vegas earlier this year at a pinup pageant.
That's correct, yes.
What was that like? I can only imagine what it was like. Tell us.
The one word that I seem to always go back to is surreal. Definitely being in Las Vegas itself is totally over the top. And it took place at the Viva Las Vegas Rockabilly Festival, which is the largest festival of its kind in the world. So it was total sensory overload for someone that loves the rockabilly and retro culture. And that was also entries from all over the world. There were about 150 girls that entered, and only 12 finalists were selected, which I was fortunate to be one. And we competed in Vegas, and it was really great that out of the top 3 girls, all of us were international. The winner was from New Zealand, second from Brazil, and then myself from South Africa, and all of that in the good old US of A.
Why do you think this culture is growing so quickly? It sounds like it really is kind of growing in every different country, not just here.
I think it's because people are, it's again, as I said earlier, it's such a fun, loving and carefree lifestyle. I think we all, again, everything is so busy and on the go and hustle bustle today. It's so fun to get a kind of, you know, have a lifestyle in which things can be a bit more light-hearted and fun. We don't have to take life so seriously, and everything about that era, the music was fun and jiving, and the swing dancing, everything was just adding a little bit of fun and color to your life.
Jenny, what do you think?
I think, you know, in these days, the media kind of puts beauty at a sort of unattainable standard. And in this culture, every woman is made to feel beautiful. You know, like you can have blue hair, you can have tattoos, you can have piercings, you can be any shape, size, or color. Like the festival says, we inspire uniqueness, you know. So there is something in everyone that is beautiful.
What are you looking forward to the most from the pageant this weekend?
I must be honest, I'm looking forward to the interaction. I'm really excited about meeting other people on the scene, getting to make new friends, just having great conversations and a good time.
Now, does everyone have to dress up to go to the festival?
You don't have to dress
But
up,
you should.
but it's encouraged. It's encouraged. It's part of the fun of it, really. I mean, when else, not everyone I know has the courage in day-to-day life to do it. But if you think about it, this is one day when no one's going to look at you funny if you're wearing polka dots or a big dress or a bandana in your hair or a big flower or fruit. It's just to come and have fun. And that's also one thing that is so great about the culture, is that there's no judgment. Everything and everyone is accepted, even if you get into it a little bit or you go, you know, the whole hog as we do.
So the festival is happening on Saturday, and where is it taking place?
Yes, this coming Saturday, the 14th of November, and it is at the West Coast Ostrich Ranch on the N7, just outside of Cape Town.
Thank you very much for coming in and sharing, ladies.
Thank you.